Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. I'm standing out in my front veggie garden at the moment, which I need to get ready for spring. I've got overgrown plants that need to be cut back. I've got old veg that needs to be harvested. And I've got two previously dug garden beds that are a bit overgrown with weeds. So I'm going to clear that, pop some cardboard down, get some mulch in it and get it ready for planting. I've also got potatoes that I'd really like to get in the ground today. So with all that to do, let's get on to it. The first thing I need to harvest is these old beetroot. They've been in the ground for months and months. I think I planted them back in spring, so almost a year. You can juice them if they're a bit too old. Now the leaves of beetroot, particularly the young ones, can be used in salads. That one's good. And I'll often juice the bigger leaves. Don't you just love that colour? Okay, that's a nice basket load of beetroot. The benefits of having your chickens close by is that it's quick and easy to give them these lovely greens. Now let's go see what else we can find. So I'm going to harvest at this point. So I've got one ready. Just going to take this one and pop it in the fridge until the others are right to go. Now in this little patch I've got some self-seeded lettuce. They're all volunteers. I'll often just leave lettuce to go to seed and then I come out and there's just lettuce growing without me having to do much about it. So I'm going to get some for lunch. Now over here I've got some celery that's been growing quite well, but it's being eaten down by slugs and snails, and even worms have found their way in. So I have got a couple of other celery plants elsewhere in the garden, so I think I'll just cut these down. I will harvest some of the branches that are good, but I've got to get it cleared because it's just harbouring all these pests. Those two will be good for the kitchen. That lot can go off to the kitchen now. These two garden beds next to me are the beds that I originally dug. I now believe in no dig, so you don't get the weeds. You can see here I've got not so many weeds down this end, but right at the other end there's just weeds aplenty. So I really need to do something about it. I'm going to start with clearing all the plants in these garden beds, and I'll be chopping them off at the base with my sickle, my secateurs, or if they're a big thick kale or collard. These are my favourite equipment for getting through the really thick stems. So I'll do that first. Alright, so I've cleared my fennel. I'm going to keep the ones that are fatter because I find that they're less fibrous. But all these will go to the chickens. They're a bit pea-sized, but they'll still be tasty. This end of the garden is a great example of the weed problem. I did have an evening primrose growing right here, and I made the mistake of letting that one go to seed, and they just grow prolifically. So what I'm going to do here is just use my sickle and chop these at the base You don't actually have to cut these plants before putting your cardboard and your mulch on it, but I just find that if I can get that flat to the ground, the cardboard's down on the ground, I do leave that in place to rot down. I always feel really bad when I cut down flowers like this, but you can't let everything go to seed, and I think I've left plenty for the bees still. Right. I've got most of the garden prepped now. I'm happy with leaving those weeds as is because I'll be just covering that with cardboard and then I'll put the compost. But down this end there's less weeds and I'm just going to cut them off at the base and put the compost down here. I'm going to have these as potato beds for the moment. All I'm going to do now is use my broadfork. I'm just going to loosen the soil because these beds are really not very old. I just want to ensure there's no compaction. So the broadfork will just lift the soil without turning it over. At this point I'm finding the bed's pretty good compaction wise. My broadfork's going down fairly well. So I think this will be the last time I need to work over these beds in this way. The roots will be fine, there won't be any compaction and the soil will just really start to build now. It's a bit of a workout. Taking a close look here, you'll see that the soil hasn't been turned over. It's been effectively aerated. It means the roots of the plants will be able to penetrate the soil quite easily. It also aids air into the soil, which helps your aerobic organisms, and it also allows water to flow in there really easily as well. I'm just going to prune these daikon radish flowers because they're in the way. Apparently you can eat all parts of the daikon radish. You can eat these little flowers even. Sad to see them go, but at least the chickens will enjoy them. Now I've got some cardboard that I just sourced at my local rural supplies store. It's great because it doesn't have sticky tape to get off from it. Now I don't have enough to do the whole bed, so I'm just going to do these two halves, which are the most weedy, and get on top of them there. Alright, so I've got the cardboard laid over the really weedy end of the garden. Down this end, the weeds will be easy to manage, so I'm just going to pile that all up with the compost. But I think this cardboard will take care of the problem ends. So what I need to do now is just bring in some of my mushroom compost and just pile that up, and then it'll be good for planting. I've brought the cardboard over the edges. I'm going to top that up with some wood chip. It's about a 10 centimetre depth, which I'm happy with planting into, and the roots should take off nicely into this. To be honest, I would have liked to have extended the cardboard a little bit further, but I didn't have quite enough and it's locked down, so I'm not rushing out to go and get it. So what I'm going to do here is just get my sickle and cut the roots off. If it's a grass, I will pull those. I'll just leave the weeds in place and that will just break down. I'm just going to lay out the potatoes first and then pile my compost on top. I've got the Dutch cream here and I've put my russet burr bank down the end. I loved getting these garden beds done. Those weeds have been bugging me for some time now. So hopefully with the cardboard and the thick layer of compost on top, that'll keep those weeds suppressed. And we'll be seeing some peas growing up here shortly. Please subscribe and hit the notify button. I will be doing updates, including how my peas grow and also the potatoes I've got. Who doesn't love a good potato harvest? So I'll be sure to show you that. I hope you found something of interest in today's video. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.